Hi YouTube, this is a free extract from my larger Illustrator Advanced course. You can check that out on bringyourownlaptop.com. Also, there's a link in the description for the exercise files. Those are free to download, so go and download those. All right, yeah, enjoy the video. Hi there, in this video we're going to take this kind of hand-drawn, done with a pencil in real life drawing and go and do this, where we fill it with color easily, making it all kind of vectory and nice. All right, let's go and do it now in this tutorial. Okay, so there's going to be three different types. There's going to be a hand-drawn one, where if I zoom in, you can see like it's just kind of a pencil drawing. And these guys here we drew earlier in the class, right? And I'll show you the pros and cons working with these. So for this guy here, we need to first of all vectorize them. Basically, it's called live trace, okay, so or image trace. If you select on them, and over here, there's one called image trace. If you're using an earlier version of Illustrator, it's up the top there, image trace, it doesn't matter. Okay, click on it, and best results, try different ones, but normally it's just black and white logo will work. Okay, and the cool thing about it, if I zoom in now, it's actually vector shapes that I can fill. It's not quite ready because you need to expand it, otherwise it won't work. Okay, now it's lots of pieces. If I go to outline view, Command Y or Control Y on a PC, it's actually vector. Now I need to color it. We're going to use our super resourceful shape builder tool. Okay, we use it for lots of things. So with it open, let's do a couple of things. Let's open up our window and our swatches. Now, what I've done for us in this tutorial is I've cleaned up, remember the thing we learned in advanced color tips and tricks? I've cleaned up our swatches panel just so we've got the basics in here. You might, to get started with, start mixing up colors that you want to color with. You can do them on the fly. Another thing you need to double check is if you double click this tool is that you want to make sure gap detection is on small for the moment. We'll look at that in a bit more detail in a second and make sure I turned this off earlier in the course. Basically, it's the color that appears just above your cursor and I'm not a big fan of it. Cool, so all we need to do now is click on it and color it. So I'm gonna pick a starting color, okay? And I'm gonna click on it once and it's filled with that kind of off. I should pick a slightly more, specific color that you can actually see. So I've clicked on that and it just fills it up. If you're running into problems with your hand-drawn type, double click this and play around with the gap detection, okay? Because you can see in here there is gaps that I've got. Is there any gaps in this one? There's a gap right there, okay, the top right. And because I've got gap detection on, it's going, I'm just gonna fill that for you. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Couple of things I want to do to speed this up is one is the shortcut that you weren't sure was that useful back in an earlier video. Remember Command on a Mac or Control on a PC and H. Gets rid of all of that anchor points everywhere, you know, which is just tidy you up, please. And another cool little shortcut when you're coloring is, can you see just above my cursor there, there is actually three little dots, three little squares. The middle one's slightly bigger. If I go over here, close to this panel here, you can zoom right in. But can you see over here my cursors? It's telling me that's the one I have selected, but watch when I hit my left and right arrow. Can you see I can kind of toggle through the available swatches? So it kind of makes it nice to kind of have one hand on your keyboard to go, actually, I want this to be this color, and then I'll go darker color in here for this. I'm just kind of using my left and right to color the pieces. If you're finding it very hard to color, keep zooming in. I find the kind of closer you are zoomed, the easier it is to get into some of these gaps. So I'm using left and right, and you can see how quick and easy it is to start coloring this thing. I don't want white, I want this color here. I know it doesn't look like much of a color. You can actually, you don't have to use these swatches. You can just use premix color, you know, make your own. So double click this, pick a swatch. I want to kind of color for my hair flower thing. Okay. And you can click in here. You can see I just picked a random color. Really hard to get. Zoom right in. There we go. Come on, getcha. There you go. All right, so that is how to color it. There's a couple of things. You'll end up with this white border around the outside, okay, which you may or might not want. I'm going to hold down the Alt key on my PC or the Option key on a Mac and just delete them. Okay, so hopefully now we're going to go to transparency mode. That's a shortcut we haven't learned before. Command Shift D or Control Shift D. It goes into that kind of more Photoshop style kind of sense of opacity or transparency. It allows you to know whether there's white in the background or it's blank. Okay, let's look at some of these other guys here, okay, because it's going to run into a few more problems. I left a gap there on purpose. I've got some overlapping bits, so we want to tidy this up. So we've kind of moved on from live drawing to kind of just coloring anything. And remember, these aren't complete shapes, right? There's big holes, and this guy just kind of overlaps this. So select them all. Okay, let's grab Shift M for our shape builder tool. And gap detection is going to be a little bit more important in this case, okay? Because you'll find things like, if I double click it and I make the gap detection large, can you see it's detected a really large gap over here and here. It's decided that, hey, I can fill that in. And if you were watching this whole tutorial series, that drove me mad a little while ago. But anyway, so yeah, you might have to play around with gap detection to work it out for your particular drawing. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. So let's say I want to do this again. I want to color the hair. I'm going to go the green color, and I'm going to color the face this color, and the eyes are going to be this color. Okay, but I've got all these extra bits, okay, that overlap. So what I can do is I can hold down the Alt key on PC or Option key on a Mac and just click on them. These little bits just get trimmed up. I love this so much. So cool, huh? Can you decide on how kind of detailed you want to get rid of these bits? I'm just holding Alt. You can drag across things. Okay, so there's a kind of there's a pile of junk here. I'm going to hold down Alt, drag across them all, get rid of all of that. Not what I wanted. Okay, it's getting rid of everything. Hold down Alt, I'm going to get rid of these guys. I said you could drag across them. It's not working very well. All right, so I'm going to work my way through and keep coloring that. There's going to be no difference for this guy. What I'd like you to do now is, yeah, go through and do it, but do maybe some nicer colors. I picked these colors. They seemed like they were going to be good. I even did a demo before I recorded this one and it looked better. Anyway, so remember, window, color themes, okay? Find some nicer color themes. I want you to fill it, play with gap detection, delete the lines, maybe get rid of the stroke, add a cool brush stroke. Yeah, I'd like to see what you've done. So either stick it here as the class project, okay? There'll be a proper space for it here on the website, but also I'd love to see, just take a screenshot and send it to me on Instagram or on Twitter. All right, I will see you in the next video. Hey there, I hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. It really helps out what I do. I've got lots of other stuff here on YouTube, so consider subscribing. Also, I want to see what you made. Okay, so you're obviously doing something. Don't be shy. I'd love to see what it is. If you put it up on Instagram, I'd love for you to mention me. I'm Bring Your Own Laptop on Instagram, and on Twitter, I'm Dan Loves Adobe. Also, if you like my teaching style and you want more advanced Illustrator stuff, there's the full course. Okay, it's on bringyourownlaptop.com. There'll be a link in the description. Also on Bring Your Own Laptop there's a resources tab, and there's a free cheat sheet in there, free, totally downloadable. It has all the we did the keyboard shortcuts and stuff for Illustrator. It's a PDF, you print it off, stick it next to your computer. It's awesome. All right, continue on. Bye now.